Barend, today we will talk about the impact of AI on sourcing. We've been talking about this topic a lot together, and in many cases, AI is a blessing in recruiting, but in some cases, it can also be a curse. And I think sourcing domain is a domain where AI could be a blessing and a curse. So maybe we can zoom in first on what's currently happening in the sourcing domain, in your opinion, and how is AI impacting that?
Yeah, I think if you look at recruitment and sourcing, it's all about reaching out to the right candidates and serve those candidates a message that conveys them to run an application process with you. Unfortunately, if I look at what's happening with AI right now, we're not using it to improve quality. We're mostly using it to improve quantity. So what I see happening is that LinkedIn was already a cluttered inbox. It's now turning into a straightforward spam machine for recruiters. And if we don't stop that, they will make us stop this. So I think it's time to reevaluate what we do with AI. And maybe this podcast is a good start for that, to
Yeah,
see how we can use it for the good instead of the bad.
yeah. What do you mean with reevaluate? If this is the way to do it?
I think if we continue using AI to generate these highly personal messages, right? We are so smart. We use AI. It looks at the LinkedIn profile of a candidate and then it sends this highly personal message. And guess what? You are not the only one sending that message. Together with you, 200 other recruiters are sending this highly personal, kind, loving, good feeling message. And the candidate, yeah, they just don't care anymore. So I think that's happening right now. And conversions are going down. We still accept that as recruiters because it's automated. So we don't care if it takes 1% or 10% or
Yeah,
0.1 conversion. But at a point, this process will break. This broke before in other industries where spam was forbidden and advertisement need to be tailored to make it still work. So in recruitment, yeah, either we do it in a different way or maybe even LinkedIn will force us to do it in a different way.
yeah. And what do you think could be the option there? What could be their strategy be?
You mean from a LinkedIn
Yeah,
perspective?
yeah,
The asset of LinkedIn is access, right? LinkedIn allows you to communicate with people that you don't know. It's access. Fundamentally, that's not different from the model of other social networks, or for example, Google. If you buy Google AdWords, Google gives you visibility, access to persons where you're interested in. And what in other parts of the advertisement domain happened early on is that the payment model behind this was like an auction model. The more popular a certain word in AdWords is, or the more popular a certain audience is, the more you pay to get reach in that audience. Well, LinkedIn could do exactly the same in the future. If you're looking for a data engineer, that's really a scarce profile. Maybe LinkedIn will tell you, okay, you want to send this message, that's good. What do you bid? Well, I paid $10 to send this message. Well, another recruiter will pay $11. And then LinkedIn will optimize their revenue model based on the scarcity of the audience. And then, yeah, you can't send 10,000 messages in a month
yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
You will have to pay for each and every one of them. And maybe that
yeah.
will be a good thing.
Yeah, so we go to the monetization model of search, what it is today.
Exactly. I think if you look, well, we have a big engineering team. I think if we would pay them $1 for every LinkedIn message they got from a recruiter, it would be more than their monthly salary. So
Yeah.
it's just not working. So we have to find another way.
Yeah, well, imagine that would happen. So LinkedIn changes the monetization model, and depending on the outreach volume, or in this case, indeed, like the scarcity of the applicant or the person in this case, if that would actually determine the amount of money that you need to pay to reach out to that candidate, how do you think that will change the way recruiters source?
You will have to focus on quality again. So if you pay per message a significant higher fee than now, then you have to be sure that you reach out to the right candidate and that the message is not personalized as it is today. Hey, how was your day? I saw you had this and this job. It actually matches really good with our profile. Do you want to talk? You have to go beyond that point and be really selective because else it doesn't add up. It will become unaffordable.
Yeah. and you need to be much more, I think, diligent and think about who to reach out to. It's not a volume game anymore in that case.
It's a quality game. And the other
Yeah,
thing that will play a role then is if it takes a lot of effort or money to get something in, you also tend to treat it better. So I think that's the other thing. If you get the response then
yeah,
in that model, you will make sure that you treat the candidate right and see if you can help the candidate in any way. Maybe creating talent pools again, like real talent pools, not just data dumps
yeah.
of email addresses. But that's not happening today. Yeah? Today you can still use LinkedIn as a spam machine, and maybe it still works. But this is a potential future, I think, in the next 18 to 24 months.
Yeah, I think you're right. So that's, I think, the, well, let's say the curse side of things, where AI is now driving so much volume to the platform, and so much, I would say, BS messages, that people are getting annoyed by it, and maybe even leave the platform or just don't even look anymore. If I look at myself, I don't even look anymore. I mean, and I'm not even recruited that much, more sales
And it's a
driven. But
waste, right? Because
it's a
sometimes there
waste.
is this outreach where you're interested in, but it just,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just clutter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But let's look at the good side of things, because it's definitely the case that it can also positively benefit the process of recruiters, the sourcing process in this case. Can you talk about that?
I think in the reality that I personally don't like today, it's helping recruiters, right? You can write highly personalized messages in a split second, and for some candidates that still works because they're not used to it. So I think on the short term, these are blessings and tools that everyone can just play around with to learn what it can do.
Yeah.
I think in the near future, AI can also help to sharpen the profile, to support you to reach out to the right person. So not
Yeah.
volume, but less volume, higher quality.
Yeah. I personally think there's another blessing, because if you look at what we can do, if there are if you team up with AI, and maybe even AI driven sourcing platforms, or in this case colleagues, we're bound to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is that platform where we go to, because the human needs that, like, very boxed environment, because we know that we have capacity and time, uh, like a limited capacity and time, to look for talent and search for talent. That's why we need that one place. But AI can use the internet and can look up people from everywhere, and it doesn't, like, care about if it's Reddit, LinkedIn, or another platform. So don't you think that actually AI can also almost reinvent the sourcing game by not taking LinkedIn as a system of record, but reaching people in places where they were never reached before? And with that, being more surprising, more unique, and also more personal.
Absolutely. It's like qualification in an outbound way. Qualify people based on all the information you find on the internet, in a way that's just not manageable for humans because it would take it would just take too much time.
Absolutely. Can you come up with an example of how that could work in real life? So I'm a recruiter. I today use LinkedIn as my source to source, and in the world where I team up with my sourcing colleague, my AI sourcing colleague, that is using the internet as the playground. How could that reality look like?
I think a very pragmatic example is sometimes in recruitment, especially agencies, they work for clients and they ask the clients, what are other potential companies where this ideal candidate could work? And then they look on LinkedIn, but often these companies, the competitors also have websites with about the team comments.
Yeah,
So AI is very capable of scraping those websites, making profiles of those candidates, see what if those people that work at the competition. Obviously, you also look at their LinkedIn, but maybe there are other ways to reach out to them: phone numbers, email addresses, and there is other information on Git or depending, obviously, on the role or in forums. About this candidate, and LinkedIn is capable of scraping it, aggregating it, and connecting the dots during the night when the recruiter is sleeping, and the next morning there is this different list that's not from LinkedIn, but a different list of potential candidates, with different ways to reach out to them.
yeah. Because I think if it's relevant as a candidate, if you get a message that's relevant and maybe also on a different place than where you expected, then you have a higher chance to succeed as a recruiter.
Of course, and if it's successful, then everybody will do it as well. So yeah, you will see the clutter maybe moving from LinkedIn to another platform, but that's something, yeah, we've always seen also in advertisement. If a model works, everybody jumps on it, and then it's just a sense of innovating again and find new
Yeah.
ways.
And do you think we should, if I'm a recruiter today, should we start experimenting, going to different platforms, or should we be happy that we currently still live in this reality and still embrace that? Or should we probably already start exploring taking another route?
I think it's in always, but I love innovation. It's always interesting to explore the other routes. I think that right now the toolbox is not there yet to automate
No.
that fully. So that toolbox, it will come, but it's not there yet. So you can explore it by doing it manually. I think you can't incorporate it in your core processes yet because it's too labor intensive today. But yeah, to already think about it and experiment with it, that can help you to utilize the tools to the fullest once they are there. And
Yeah.
obviously today, for the traditional outreach, yeah, use AI as well. It's there, so benefit from it as long as it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, Baron, thanks for this breakdown. So if we summarize this, the conclusion is that AI will impact sourcing. It will be a blessing and a curse for sourcing. It will be a curse because there is probably a limited time where LinkedIn will still work in the way it works today. So LinkedIn will change their policies, or you have to go broader. And actually, that's directly also the blessing, because this actually new ways of reaching people in maybe different places will surprise people, and surprise is usually a good way to actually get people's attention. So that's also where I can help and do the things and reach candidates in places where you simply don't have the capacity and time for. So
Exactly.
this topic will be moving and will be evolving in I would say not the months to come, but I think this is a years to come topic. But I think for every recruiter, this is top of mind every day. So it's a topic we should stay very close to.
Maybe we can already schedule the next podcast for March 2025 and discuss the
Let's
new
do it.
pricing model of LinkedIn and that everybody is mad because they did it.
Let's do that. Let's do it. Okay, thanks, Barend.